Have you ever watched a GoPro marketing video and you're like, wow, that looks amazing, I'm gonna create epic stuff with the GoPro, and you purchase the GoPro and then use it for your travels and you find out that it doesn't look like what you saw in the video? Okay, to be honest, I don't have a solution for that if you are not into extreme sports, but I do have a few tips and tricks to help you improve on your GoPro or action cam footage to make it look a lot better. So, let's go for it. So the very first thing you want to do to help improve your GoPro footage is to shoot in 4K. Now, not every GoPro has that function, but if you do shoot in 4K because the 1080p in these little cameras just don't bring enough detail to your shots. And even if you don't want to export it in 4K, you can always downsize it to 1080p in post and export it as 1080p, and you still get a lot of resolution and detail from just this little tiny camera. So highly recommend you to shoot in 4K. Now the second thing you want to do is to go into camera settings and turn on Pro Tunes. So Pro Tunes basically allow you to have more flexibility in adjusting your picture profiles and whatnot, so that you just pull as much as possible from that little GoPro. So let me just run you quickly through the settings. The shutter speed, I'll just leave it auto. White balance, I don't want to mess with it. For sharpness, in-camera sharpening is always ugly. It's horrible, so turn it down. But for Pro Tunes, usually it turns out a bit soft, so I've set it to medium. And then color as well, you can choose GoPro. I think it's fine as well, but I prefer it to be flat to get the most out of the GoPro, and then I can put in the colors later in post. Exposure compensation, I like to have it at -0.5 because in Pro Tunes, usually the exposure is kind of overexposed, so I like to just dial it down a bit for that. Of course, video stabilization, you want to have that turned on. Okay, so the next thing you want to know is to have stabilization on your GoPro. So I use the selfie stick or the extendable pole. This is extremely useful. I use this pole on my GoPro like 95% of the times. You can do so much with this stick. So with this extendable pole itself, this selfie stick, you can achieve a lot smoother footages. I mean, if you don't own the Hero 7, which has the hyper smooth, this really helps you to get a smooth, stable shot. As camera operators, right, usually when we film something and want to keep it stable, you don't want to just walk normally like that. Okay, you're gonna have a lot of up and down motion, so you want to do the ninja walk and cushion your steps by landing on your heels. Okay, landing on your heels and bending your knees a bit. It looks stupid, it looks weird, but it works. And I'm gonna just try to hold it with one hand with the stick. And as you can see, even without the Hero 7 Hyper Smooth, the Hero 6 does a great job with stabilization. Also with the selfie stick, you can see a lot more of the background is captured in the frame, so this is perfect for your travel videos, and it should be a bit more stable than handheld. Okay, so the next thing that I notice when people use your GoPros with the selfie stick is that they don't pay attention to the horizon lines, whether or not it's like slanted like that, or you know, they are pointing up like that. Where the background, if something is interesting on the ground, sure, you can do this, but if not, usually I would never do this. If you want to show off the environment, then you want to make sure you point it out like that and make sure that the GoPro is like facing level towards you. Alright, so one of the best things when using an action cam or GoPro is that it's so portable, and its form factor really allows you to do a lot of creative things that your mirrorless cameras cannot do. So use this to your advantage and do creative shots. So one of my favorites would be to actually do the low angle shot where I point it behind my legs. You probably have seen a lot of these kind of shots that I do in my travel videos. So once you go low, you can create a lot of motion, and it's just a very nice and unique perspective that you can add to your video. So like just like that, like, yeah. one of the other accessories that I usually use is also the chest mount. That's where you can capture like first-person perspectives. It's very unique, or in situations where you need both of your hands and you cannot operate a camera, that is the best time to use the chest mount. Now it looks a bit ugly, so that's why I seldom use it. Like I use it probably like 5% of the time, but when I do use it, it is definitely useful in such situations. And also lastly, because of the form factor, you can put it in a lot of interesting, unique places, like in a bag of chips. You can put it in your mug and pour water over it. So you can put it in all the kinds of places that you normally wouldn't be able to put with a normal like mirrorless or DSLR. The next tip is to never use your GoPro or action cams in low light. Just do not use it in low light. Action cams or GoPros just do really badly in low light unless it's really brightly lit, you're surrounded by lights. If not, I really do not advise you to use your GoPros in low light. It just looks like a mush. So lastly, I don't see a GoPro or an action camera as my main camera because they kind of lack certain qualities. There are still limitations to a GoPro, such as lack of shallow depth of field, or they just have that fish eye look. I mean, you can shoot in linear mode, but still, it just, yeah, for me, it just doesn't have that quality. And that's why I usually reserve the action cam for the action stuff. Situations where a lot of exciting things are happening, like say, you know, sitting in a roller coaster in a theme park, whitewater rafting, snorkeling, like underwater activities. Those are kind of things that you want to use your GoPro for, and you want to reserve your GoPro or action camera for. But again, it's really all up to you. It's not for me to say whether or not you should use a GoPro for certain situations or not, but this is what I prefer. And that's it from me today. I hope you learned something valuable from this, whether or not you have a GoPro or not. And if you did, give this video a thumbs up. It really helps. And let me know in the comments below on what else you want to learn, and I will work towards there. And that's all. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and join in the ride for more videos like this, and I will see you in the next one. Take care.